All right, we're going to solve a few radical equations. This first one, the square root is already isolated, so it's looking good. Well, actually, it's not isolated at all, is it? We got to move it. So let's move this 2 over. Then it'll be looking good. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, now it's isolated. So when you do that, we want to raise both sides to the power we need to get rid of this root. It's a square root, so that's why we're squaring it. All right, and don't forget to square your 8. That's where a lot of people make a mistake. So on this one, your answer is 8. And you could go back and check it in to make sure that's right. Pretty sure it will be, so let's just do it kind of out loud. So 8 times 8 is 64. What's the square root of 64? 8. Add that to 2. Do you get 10? Absolutely. All right, so we're good on that one. All right, let's do the next one. We've got 2 square roots. Let's just work it from here. They are isolated in that one is on one side, one is on the other. So you're good to go. Let's go ahead and square both sides. So that would be 3n minus 26 is equal to 19 minus 2n. All right, now when you get here, remember you want to get variables on one side, numbers on the other. So I'm going to move over to n, so I'm going to add it to both sides. Got to do the opposite side to move it. And then on this one, we're going to add 26. So that ends up being a 45 divided by 5, and you get 9. Again, you could double check the answers on these. I'll write this one out. So is 3 times 9 minus 26 the same as 19 minus 2 times 9? All right, so if we do some order of operations, we'd do 3 times 9 first and get 27. So 27 minus 26. And then on this side, we do 19 minus 2 times 9 is 18. So again, order of operations. But both of these are going to be a 1, so that's good. All right, so we got both of those done. On this last problem, it is going to take a few more steps, actually quite a few more, because we're dealing with a different kind of setup. When you see a square root and then you see a binomial on one side, that is a sign you're probably going to have to do some factoring. So square root is isolated. Let's go ahead and square it. Okay, so on the right-hand side, 5b plus 44 is ready to go. On the left-hand side, b plus 4 is being squared. It is not under a root like it was on number 2. So we have no choice but to square it, and that means expand it and multiply it all out. So here we go. B squared, that'd give us a 4b, give us another 4b, and then lastly a 16, and that's going to be equal to the 5b plus 44. All right, we've introduced a quadratic, so I'm thinking some factoring is coming soon, but let's get everything ready to go before that. All right, so here on the left-hand side, let's keep combining like terms. That'll be a b squared plus 8b plus 16. So just add those b's together. And that's still equal to this. All righty, so let's see what we can do now. Let's get everything on one side. Let's minus the 5b. And then let's minus the 44. And let's see what we got. So b squared is still b squared. 8 minus 5 is 3. And then 16 minus 44 should be 28. And it's going to be negative. All right, so we've canceled both of these on the right, so now we're equal to 0. So the question is, can you factor this? Hopefully you can. So the question would be, what factors of 28 add to be 3? I'm thinking 7 and 4 are the winners here. And to get a positive 3, we'd need a positive 7 minus 4. And that still gives us a 28 when we multiply, so that sounds good. All right, so if you set each one of these equal to 0, and that is the next step, you can't just use the numbers from here as your answers because, remember, this is set equal to 0. So we get 2 answers. The question is, do both of them work? There's only one way to know. You got to go back and check it. So let's plug in a negative 7 first, and I'm going back to the original question to see what happens. All right, so on the left, we get negative 3. And on the bottom over here, if I just put what's in the radical, in the calculator, I get the square root of 9. Is the square root of 9 equal to negative 3? That's a big no. So let's see if this one works. Let's plug in a 4. Is 4 plus 4 the same as 5 times 4 plus 44? All right, well, let's see. That's a 16. This is a 20 plus 44. Looks like a... Oh, excuse me. That's not 16. That's an 8, Miss Brown. There we go. 64. Is 8 the same as 8? Absolutely. I almost messed up right there. I multiplied instead of added. So your only answer for number 3 would be the one that gave you the right answer when you checked it. So that is 4.